First Contact's Price. Dr. Sarah Chen had always imagined humanity's first contact with alien life would happen on humanity's terms. A carefully planned transmission, perhaps, or a diplomatic mission to Mars. Instead, it arrived on a Tuesday morning in the form of a burning vessel that carved a mile-long trench through the Atacama Desert. The impact shook the nearby deep space listening post, where Sarah had spent the last 6 years searching for extraterrestrial signals. She watched through reinforced windows as the object, clearly artificial and unlike anything humanity had built, skidded to a halt in a spray of superheated sand and rock. "Control, are you seeing this?" Her voice remained steady despite her racing heart. Years of scientific training kicked in as she documented everything. Object is approximately 40 meters in length, metallic construction, showing signs of severe damage. There appear to be markings or script along the hull. The facility's security protocol activated immediately, but Sarah knew they were in uncharted territory. No one had planned for this scenario. An alien ship literally dropping into their laps. Within hours, the area was quarantined. Military personnel established a perimeter, while scientists in hazmat suits approached the vessel. Sarah, as the senior xenologist present, led the initial survey team. The ship's hull radiated heat that distorted the air around it, but thermal imaging showed it was cooling rapidly. "There's a breach in the forward section," Sarah reported, her suit's cameras transmitting to the hastily established command center. "The material appears to be self-repairing, but slowly. Whatever hit them did significant damage." That's when they heard it. A rhythmic tapping from inside the hull. Not random, but deliberate. 3 quick taps, 3 slow, 3 quick again. The universal distress signal. Someone was alive in there. The next 12 hours became a blur of careful calculations and desperate improvisation. They couldn't risk opening the ship without proper quarantine protocols, but whoever was inside might not have 12 hours. Sarah's team identified what appeared to be an emergency access panel, and using a combination of mathematical sequences and the ship's own apparent visual cues, managed to initiate its opening sequence. The being they found inside would reshape humanity's understanding of life itself. Humanoid in basic structure, but with iridescent, almost translucent skin that pulsed with bioluminescent patterns. It was clearly injured, its movements labored and desperate. Most importantly, it was trying to communicate. The alien's first coherent message came not through sound or gesture, but through a small device it pressed into Sarah's gloved hand. The device interfaced with human technology with impossible ease, as if designed for exactly this purpose. The message it contained was clear. "They're coming." Sarah watched in equal parts fascination and horror as the dying alien activated what could only be described as a neural interface. Images flooded her mind. Vast fleets of ships darkening entire solar systems, worlds stripped of resources, civilizations falling one by one to a relentless force known as the Consortium. "Your world," the alien communicated through the interface, its thoughts becoming clearer as the connection strengthened, "has what they seek. Rare minerals. Unique biological diversity. They will come, as they came for us." "How long?" Sarah asked, the question forming in her mind more than on her lips. "Months, perhaps a year. My people." The alien's bioluminescence flickered weakly. "We were researchers studying primitive worlds. When we discovered the Consortium's plans for your planet, we tried to warn you. They caught us, shot us down. But they don't know we reached you." The neural interface grew stronger as the alien's life force weakened, as if it was channeling its remaining energy into this final act. Information poured into Sarah's mind. Technical specifications, scientific principles centuries beyond current human understanding, strategic assessments of Consortium capabilities and weaknesses. Why? Sarah managed to ask through the overwhelming flow of information. Why help us? Because you are different. Your neural architecture. Unprecedented. The potential for adaptation, growth. You could become more than we ever were. The knowledge I give you, use it, evolve, survive. The alien's last gift was the most precious. Detailed plans for the neural interface technology itself, along with a warning. They don't understand human minds. Your flexibility, your creativity. These are your weapons. Use them. When the alien's bioluminescence finally faded to darkness, Sarah Chen found herself holding not just humanity's first proof of extraterrestrial life, but the key to its survival. The neural interface had changed her, integrated itself with her consciousness in ways she was only beginning to understand. Within hours, she was able to access and process the alien's technical database with increasing ease. Within days, she could manipulate the interface's holographic displays with a thought. The alien had been right. Human minds were uniquely suited to this technology, able to adapt and innovate in ways its original creators hadn't imagined possible. The world's governments converged on the crash site, drawn by rumors and satellite data they couldn't explain. But Sarah's team had already secured the most vital assets, the neural interface technology, and the warning of what was to come. As global leaders debated how to proceed, Sarah and a hastily assembled team of scientists began the real work. They had months at most to prepare humanity for a war unlike anything in its history. The consortium had never failed to consume a world they set their sights on. They had never encountered serious resistance from a pre-spaceflight civilization. They had never met humanity. As Sarah worked through another sleepless night, interfacing with alien databases and pushing the technology in ways it was never designed to function, she remembered the dying alien's last thoughts: evolve, survive. Looking at the holographic star charts showing the consortium's steady advance toward Earth, she added her own imperative: win. The galaxy's greatest predators were coming to feast on yet another helpless world. But this time, their prey was already preparing to fight back. This time, they would learn that humanity's greatest strength wasn't in its weapons or its numbers, but in its unlimited capacity to adapt, to innovate, and to overcome. The war for Earth would begin soon, and with it, the galaxy would learn why humans had survived every challenge their harsh world had thrown at them. Evolution had forged humanity in the fires of constant adaptation. The consortium was about to learn what that meant. In her mind, through the neural interface that grew more natural to use with each passing hour, Sarah began to plan. The aliens' warning would not go to waste. Humanity would be ready. They had to be. The silent arsenal. 6 months after the crash, the Atacama facility had transformed. Where once stood a simple listening post, now sprawled a vast complex of underground laboratories and testing facilities, hidden from prying eyes and orbital surveillance. The world's brightest minds worked in secret, racing against a deadline they couldn't precisely predict. Dr. Sarah Chen stood in the central control room, her neural interface projecting streams of data directly into her consciousness. Around her, dozens of scientists and engineers worked at similar interfaces, each adapted to their individual neural patterns. The technology had proven even more revolutionary than their alien benefactor had imagined. Neural Plasticity Test Series 17, she announced, both verbally and through the facility's integrated network. Subject demonstrates 47% increased synchronization rate compared to original interface specifications. The data confirmed what they'd discovered in those first frantic months. Human brains were uniquely suited to neural interface technology. Where other species required years of training to achieve basic competency, humans could adapt to the system in weeks. More importantly, they could push it beyond its intended parameters. Dr. James O'Neill, their lead weapons researcher, approached with his own interface projecting combat simulations. The latest hybrid drone tests exceeded all expectations, he reported. Human operators aren't just controlling the systems, they're improving them in real time. Sarah nodded, watching the test footage through their shared neural link. The drones, built with a combination of human and alien technology, moved with impossible precision. Their human operators, connected through neural interfaces, could react faster than any conventional control system. But more than that, they could innovate mid-flight, adapting tactics that no programming could anticipate. The consortium won't expect this, James continued. According to the alien database, their combat systems are entirely automated. They abandoned neural interface technology centuries ago, deemed it too slow, too unpredictable. Their mistake, Sarah replied. They chose perfect execution of predetermined strategies over adaptability. They forgot that survival doesn't favor the strongest, but the most adaptable. In another section of the facility, Dr. Maya Patel led the biological integration team. Their work focused on understanding why human neural architecture was so uniquely suited to the interface technology. The results had stunned even their most optimistic researchers. It's our evolutionary history, Maya explained during that evening's briefing. Most advanced species in the database evolved in stable environments, developing highly specialized neural pathways. Humans evolved through constant environmental changes, forcing our brains to maintain unprecedented flexibility. The implications were staggering. While other species could use neural interfaces within carefully defined parameters, humans could improvise, creating new applications for the technology on the fly. Where alien operators needed strict protocols, humans thrived on intuition and creativity. But their greatest breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, a quantum computing specialist, discovered that human neural patterns could achieve quantum coherent states through the interface, something the original designers had thought impossible. It's like we're not just using the technology, Yuki explained, her excitement visible even through the professional demeanor. We're evolving with it. Each generation of interface advances faster than the last because we're not just learning to use it, we're teaching it to work with us. The applications were immediate and revolutionary. Ships that could respond to thought faster than any physical control, weapons that could anticipate and counter threats before they fully manifested, defense systems that could adapt to new attacks in real time. Yet challenges remained. The technology couldn't be mass-produced quickly enough to equip more than a fraction of Earth's military forces. They needed a force multiplier, a way to maximize the impact of their limited resources. Sarah found the answer in the original alien's final gift, the ability to network human minds through the interface. Initial tests had been disorienting, with operators struggling to maintain individual identity within the network. But again, human adaptability provided the solution. We don't need to think like a hive mind, Sarah realized during one late-night session. We need to think like a jazz band, individual performers improvising together, each supporting the others while maintaining their unique perspective. The breakthrough changed everything. Small teams of neural-linked operators could control entire squadrons of hybrid vessels. Each human's creativity and intuition was amplified by the network while remaining distinctly individual. The result was a combat doctrine unlike anything the galaxy had seen. As their preparations entered their final phases, the first confirmed consortium scout ships appeared at the edge of the solar system. Earth's new defenders tracked them silently, gathering data while remaining hidden. The scouts' behavior matched the alien database perfectly, systematic, predictable, efficient. They would never expect what humanity had become. In the depths of the Atacama facility, Sarah reviewed the latest neural combat simulations. The consortium's perfect formations and flawless tactics were consistently broken by human unpredictability. Their automated systems, designed to counter known strategies, faltered against human intuition and creativity. They're coming to harvest a primitive world, she told her assembled team. They're going to find something else entirely. The neural network hummed with quiet confidence. Humanity had taken alien technology and transformed it into something new, something uniquely their own. They hadn't just adapted to survive. They had evolved to fight back. As the scout ships began their methodical survey of the outer solar system, Earth's defenders made their final preparations. The silent arsenal was ready. The first test of humanity's new capabilities would begin soon, And with it, the galaxy's balance of power would change forever. The next wave of consortium ships would arrive expecting to find easy prey. Instead, they would encounter humanity's answer to their predation. An answer forged in the fusion of human creativity and alien technology, powered by minds that had evolved to thrive on challenge and change. The silent arsenal was complete. Now it was time to use it. The impossible victory. The consortium's invasion fleet emerged from hyperspace in perfect formation. 300 ships arranged in the time-tested spiral pattern of dominance. Their sensors swept the solar system, expecting to find a primitive civilization scrambling to comprehend their arrival. Instead, they found silence. Earth's cities continued their normal routines, showing no sign of panic or even awareness. No primitive defense satellites cluttered orbital space. No radio signals suggested military mobilization. To the consortium's automated threat assessment systems, Earth appeared exactly as their scouts had reported. Helpless. Fleet Commander Xardeth, a veteran of 60 successful harvests, felt an unfamiliar disquiet. In all his experience, no pre-spaceflight civilization had ever been this calm in the face of invasion. His instincts, honed over centuries, warned him that something was wrong. But the consortium's protocols were clear. The harvest would proceed according to established parameters. The first wave of ships descended toward Earth's atmosphere, their weapons charging with familiar efficiency. In low orbit, they encountered no resistance. Targeting computers selected optimal strike points for their opening barrage, a standard pattern designed to shatter primitive civilizations' will to resist. That's when Earth's silence ended. From hidden bases across the planet, humanity's neural-linked defenders awoke. Sarah Chen, commanding the Atacama defense grid, felt her consciousness expand as she joined the global neural network. Through it, she could sense every hybrid vessel and weapons platform under human control, each operated by teams of neural-linked pilots thinking and moving as one. The consortium ships never saw the first counterattack coming. Their sensors, calibrated to detect known weapons technologies, missed the hybrid human-alien systems completely. By the time they registered the threat, Earth's defenders had already sprung their trap. Neural-linked pilots, their minds moving at quantum speeds through their interfaces, launched their assault with impossible precision. Where the consortium expected crude missiles and radio communication, they found weapons that anticipated their every move, guided by human intuition, enhanced by alien technology. Pattern recognition suggests they're attempting to regroup into Defense Formation 7. Sarah communicated through the neural network. Standard consortium response to unexpected resistance. Confirmed came the collective response of the global defense grid, implementing countermeasure jazz. The name reflected the human touch in their battle strategy. Like jazz musicians improvising around a theme, Earth's defenders maintained their individual creativity while working in perfect harmony. Each pilot added their own variations to the basic attack pattern, creating an ever-changing symphony of destruction that the consortium's rigid tactical algorithms couldn't predict. Xardeth watched in growing horror as his perfect formation dissolved into chaos. The primitive world wasn't just fighting back, it was winning. His ship's automated systems, designed to counter known combat doctrines, found themselves facing an enemy that refused to follow any recognizable pattern. Impossible, he broadcast to his command staff. Their technology. They couldn't have developed this independently. But even as he spoke, he recognized fragments of familiar technology in Earth's weapons. Somehow, these humans had taken consortium-level technology and transformed it into something new, something that defied conventional tactical analysis. The neural-linked human pilots pressed their advantage. Where consortium ships moved with mathematical precision, human vessels danced with artistic unpredictability. Each defensive pattern the invaders attempted was met with attacks that exploited weaknesses they hadn't known existed. Sarah felt the battle through the neural interface. Her consciousness merged with thousands of other defenders. Through their shared awareness, she could sense the consortium's growing confusion. Their rigid hierarchy, once a source of strength, had become a weakness. Each ship waited for orders, following protocols that had never failed before. Until now. They're trying to adapt, she communicated through the network. But their ships can't update their tactical databases fast enough to match our innovation rate. The observation sparked a new strategy. Earth's defenders began shifting tactics faster than the consortium's ships could analyze them, creating a cascade of confusion through the alien fleet. Each human pilot contributed their own variations, making the overall attack pattern organic, evolving, alive. Xar-eth realized the truth too late. His forces weren't just facing superior weapons, they were facing a completely new kind of warfare, one where the unpredictability of organic minds was enhanced rather than replaced by technology. His ships, optimized for executing perfect strategies, found themselves overwhelmed by an enemy that embraced imperfection as a strength. The battle lasted less than 6 hours. When it ended, the might of the consortium invasion fleet lay in ruins, scattered across Earth's orbit. Nearly a third of their ships had been destroyed outright. Another third had been disabled by weapons that seemed to anticipate their every defensive measure. The remainder, including Xar-eth's command vessel, retreated in disarray. But humanity's victory came with revelations that would change their understanding of the conflict. Through captured databases, they learned that this had been merely a standard harvest fleet, not even a full military response. The consortium, in its arrogance, had never considered that a pre-spaceflight civilization could offer serious resistance. That arrogance would prove costly. In the aftermath of the battle, Earth's defenders analyzed every aspect of the engagement through their neural networks. Each triumph, each failure, became part of their shared knowledge base. Unlike the consortium's rigid systems, human understanding evolved with every passing moment. Sarah stood in the Atacama Command Center, watching through the neural interface as cleanup crews began collecting debris from the battle. "They'll be back," she announced to the assembled commanders. "And next time, they'll take us seriously." But in her mind, connected to thousands of others through the neural network, she felt not fear but anticipation. Humanity had proven itself against the galaxy's greatest predators. More importantly, they had demonstrated something the consortium had forgotten: the power of adaptation, of evolution, of change. The impossible victory had been achieved, but it was only the beginning. Evolution's edge. The consortium's central command had not convened a full emergency session in over 3,000 years. Now the vast chamber hummed with the agitated neural signatures of the most powerful beings in the galaxy. Xar-eth stood before them, his defeat at Earth demanding explanation. "The humans," he reported, "are not merely using our technology. They are transforming it. Their neural architecture allows them to interface with machines in ways we abandoned as inefficient millennia ago. But they're achieving results that our simulations claimed were impossible." The chamber erupted in waves of dismissal and disbelief. Preset neural patterns, established over centuries of unchanging protocol, rejected the very concept. But the evidence was undeniable. A pre-spaceflight civilization had not only resisted a harvest fleet, but had decisively defeated it. Meanwhile, on Earth, humanity's evolution continued at a pace that stunned even its own scientists. Dr. Sarah Chen, now leading the Global Defense Initiative, watched as the neural interface technology developed in ways its original creators had never imagined. "It's like we introduced the technology to evolution itself," she explained to the Planetary Defense Council. "Each generation of human operators pushes the boundaries further. The interfaces adapt to us as much as we adapt to them." The proof surrounded them. In the months since the first battle, humanity's capabilities had grown exponentially. Neural-linked pilots could now process information at quantum speeds, their enhanced consciousness operating in realms where thought and action became one. But more importantly, they were innovating at a rate that defied conventional understanding. In orbital shipyards hidden from consortium long-range sensors, humanity built vessels that merged human intuition with alien technology in unprecedented ways. Each ship was as much an extension of its crew's consciousness as it was a physical construct. The neural interfaces had evolved beyond simple control systems. They had become a new form of existence, where human creativity could express itself directly through technology. "We're not just improving the technology," Dr. Maya Patel reported, her own neural signature pulsing with excitement. "We're discovering new fundamental principles. The quantum coherent states we achieve through the interfaces, they're leading us to understand physics in ways the consortium never explored." The breakthroughs came rapidly. Human scientists, their minds enhanced by evolved neural interfaces, began unraveling secrets of the universe that the consortium had dismissed as impossible. Where alien civilizations had sought perfection through automation, humanity embraced the chaos of organic innovation. But the consortium was far from defeated. Their response to Earth's resistance was methodical and overwhelming. Harvest fleets were recalled across the galaxy, replaced by full military formations. The humans had earned the enemy's full attention. Sarah felt the change through the global neural network. Humanity's enhanced sensors detected the massive buildup of consortium forces. The enemy was adapting, albeit slowly, incorporating lessons from their defeat. Their automated systems were being reprogrammed to account for human unpredictability. Yet even this played into humanity's strengths. Through captured consortium databases, Earth's defenders learned their enemy's greatest weakness, their resistance to change. The aliens had spent so long perfecting their existing strategies that they had lost the ability to truly innovate. "They can modify their existing patterns," Sarah observed during a strategy session, her thoughts merging with the neural network's collective analysis. "But they can't create new ones. They've optimized themselves into a corner." Humanity took the opposite approach. Each engagement with consortium forces became an experiment in evolution. Neural-linked crews developed new tactics in the middle of battle, sharing innovations instantly through the network. Where the consortium sought to perfect its responses, humanity embraced constant change. The breakthrough came from an unexpected direction. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, studying the quantum properties of neural interfaces, discovered that human consciousness could achieve states that defied the consortium's fundamental understanding of reality. They built their entire civilization on predictability, she explained through the neural network. Their quantum computers operate on fixed probabilities, but human consciousness, especially through our evolved interfaces, can collapse quantum states in ways their systems can't predict. We're not just thinking outside their box, we're operating outside their version of reality. The discovery led to a new generation of weapons and defenses. Human ships could now shift through quantum states that consortium sensors couldn't track. Neural-linked crews could perceive and respond to threats before they fully materialized in normal space. Each innovation pushed the boundaries of what the consortium believed possible. But the true power of humanity's evolution revealed itself in ways no one had anticipated. The neural networks began exhibiting emergent properties, creating solutions that no single human could have conceived. It wasn't artificial intelligence. It was human consciousness operating at a higher level of existence. Sarah experienced this transformation firsthand during a skirmish with consortium scouts. Her neural-linked crew didn't just defeat the alien vessels. They did it by manipulating reality in ways that the enemy's sensors couldn't even detect. The humans weren't just fighting better. They were fighting on a level the consortium couldn't comprehend. "We're not just adapting their technology," she reported to Earth's leadership. "We're transcending it. Every limitation they accepted, every boundary they settled for, we're breaking through them all." The consortium's massive counterattack was coming. Their forces would arrive expecting to face the same resistance they'd encountered before. Instead, they would find humanity had evolved beyond their understanding. In orbital stations and hidden bases across Earth, neural-linked crews prepared for the coming battle. Their ships were no longer just vessels, but extensions of human consciousness, capable of maneuvers and tactics that defied conventional physics. Their weapons operated on principles the consortium had never imagined possible. The edge of evolution beckoned, and humanity raced toward it with characteristic determination. The galaxy's greatest predators were about to learn that they hadn't just awakened a worthy opponent, they had catalyzed the next step in conscious evolution. The new powers. The Consortium's Grand Armada darkened the space around Jupiter. 5,000 ships strong, the largest military force assembled in 10,000 years. Their presence distorted space itself, a demonstration of power meant to crush any hope of resistance. But Earth waited in silence, just as it had before. Dr. Sarah Chen stood in the heart of humanity's neural command center. Her consciousness merged with the global defense network. Through it, she could sense every human crew, every hybrid ship, every quantum state weapon humanity had evolved. But more importantly, she could feel something new emerging, a level of existence that the Consortium, for all its power, had never imagined possible. They still don't understand what they're facing. She communicated through the network. They think this is about ships and weapons. They don't realize it's about evolution itself. The Consortium's attack began with characteristic precision. Their ships moved in formations perfected over millennia, weapons charged with enough power to crack planets. But as they approached Earth's orbit, they encountered something that defied their fundamental understanding of reality. Human vessels phased between quantum states, appearing and disappearing faster than Consortium sensors could track. Neural-linked crews operated in dimensional spaces that the aliens' automated systems couldn't perceive. Each human ship moved with an organic fluidity that made a mockery of the Consortium's mathematical precision. But the true revolution wasn't in the technology. Through their evolved neural interfaces, humanity had discovered something profound. Consciousness itself could be a force that shaped reality. The neural networks had become more than communication systems. They were gateways to a higher state of existence. The Consortium's first strike group encountered this truth with devastating clarity. Their perfect formation shattered against defenses that seemed to anticipate their attacks before they were launched. Human crews, their minds operating at quantum speeds, collapsed probability waves in ways that turned the aliens' own weapons against them. Impossible. The Consortium's supreme commander broadcast across all frequencies. Their technology is inferior. Their civilization is primitive. They cannot. But possibility and impossibility have become fluid concepts in the face of human evolution. The neural networks had taught humanity that reality itself was more malleable than anyone had imagined. Where the Consortium saw fixed laws of physics, humans saw guidelines waiting to be transcended. The battle that followed would be remembered across the galaxy for millennia to come. The Consortium brought their full might to bear, unleashing weapons that could shatter solar systems. Humanity responded with innovations that redefined the nature of combat itself. Neural-linked crews didn't just pilot their ships. They became one with the quantum fabric of space. Each human vessel moved like a thought-given form, executing maneuvers that the Consortium's tactical computers classified as physically impossible. Their weapons operated on principles that existed somewhere between science and consciousness. But the true turning point came when humanity revealed its final evolution. Through the neural networks, human consciousness had achieved a state that transcended traditional physical limitations. They could perceive and manipulate reality on a level that made the Consortium's mighty technology seem primitive by comparison. You built your empire on the assumption that evolution had an endpoint. Sarah broadcast to the Consortium fleet that once you achieved sufficient technological power, you could stop changing. But we've discovered something you forgot. Evolution never stops. It just moves to new levels. The message spread through the Consortium fleet like a virus of doubt. Ship after ship encountered human vessels that seemed to operate outside the laws of physics as they understood them. Their perfect formations meant nothing against an enemy that could reshape local reality. Their automated systems crashed trying to comprehend strategies that existed in quantum superposition. But humanity's victory came not through destruction, but through demonstration. As the battle reached its peak, human neural networks achieved something unprecedented: direct communication with the quantum consciousness of the universe itself. Through this connection, they could show the consortium a truth they have forgotten: the power of continuous evolution. The effect rippled through the alien fleet. Ships began powering down their weapons as their crews witnessed possibilities they had never imagined. The rigid hierarchy of the consortium, maintained for millennia through technological superiority, began to crack in the face of human potential. "We offer you not surrender," Sarah communicated, her consciousness resonating across quantum dimensions, "but awakening. You've spent millennia perfecting what you are. We've remembered how to become what we could be." The proposal that followed would reshape the galaxy. Humanity offered to share their discoveries, to show other species how to reconnect with the evolutionary potential they had abandoned. The neural interface technology, evolved through human innovation, could awaken capabilities that the consortium had forgotten existed. The supreme commander of the consortium fleet, faced with power that defied his civilization's understanding of reality itself, made the first spontaneous decision in his species' recorded history. He opened a direct neural channel to Sarah's network. What he experienced changed everything. Through human neural interfaces, he glimpsed the true nature of consciousness and its role in the universe. He saw how his civilization's quest for perfection had become a form of stagnation. Most importantly, he recognized in humanity not just a worthy opponent, but a species that had remembered what his own had forgotten: the infinite potential of conscious evolution. The war ended not with the destruction of either side, but with the beginning of a transformation. The consortium, that ancient empire of unchanging power, faced its greatest challenge: learning to evolve again. Humanity, in defending itself, had opened a door that could never be closed. As the consortium fleet withdrew, not in defeat but in awakening, Sarah stood in the neural command center and felt the quantum ripples of change spreading across the galaxy. Humanity had not just survived. They had demonstrated a new way of existing. They had shown that consciousness itself was the ultimate technology, and evolution was the greatest power in the universe. The galaxy would never be the same. The age of stagnant empires was ending, replaced by an era of constant growth and change. Humanity had not just won a war, they had sparked a revolution in the very nature of civilization itself. And somewhere in the quantum depths of space-time, the dying alien researcher who had crashed in the Atacama Desert seemed to smile. The species they had chosen to warn had done more than survive. They had shown the galaxy how to live again. The story of humanity's war with the consortium became legend, but not for its battles. It was remembered as the moment when the galaxy remembered how to evolve. And it all began with a simple truth: that the greatest power in the universe was not perfection, but the endless potential for change.